With the embargo for political campaigns for both federal and state positions open for weeks now, the expectation is that political atmosphere will be flooded with various campaign trends of political parties and their candidates win electorate across the country to secure their mandate. There is, however, an unexpected twist as weeks after the embargo was lifted and peace accords signed by the presidential candidates of different political parties and their candidates, it seems the ruling APC and many opposition parties are not sure of what the future holds because they are yet to sort out issues around their campaign councils, let alone commence campaigns. And even though the leading opposition People's Democratic Party has constituted its campaign council, the crisis in the party at the national and in some states persists. Welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy, and governance. I am Hamza Idris. Tonight on the program, we'll be discussing with Mohamed Jamu, a chieftain of the PDP from the Northwest, as we focus on issues rocking his party in Kano and at the national level. Welcome to the program.
Thank you so much, Mala Hamza.
Yes, we're happy having you.
Thank you so much.
Maybe we should start with little background because I know there was serious crisis in PDP in Northwest. Yeah. And the general impression is that you were the source of the problem. What really happened? This was over a year ago.
Yeah, thank you so much, Hamza. Let me first of all start by expressing my delight and appreciation to be with you people here today. And I have to take time out to congratulate the management and editors of Trust for the wonderful edifice and for the enhancement and improvement from the Daily Trust newspaper to now the Trust TV and
Trust
even
Radio.
the Trust Radio.
Yes.
This is something that I feel so proud as somebody from this part of the country because I know the evolution of the media and its dominance in the southwestern part of the country. So if anything happens across the Niger, I must express my delight and happiness, and I wish you people well.
Thank you. It is meant for you, the politicians, the people, and every other person.
Thank you so much. Well, like you rightly said, the issue of the Northwest and the PDP over a year ago, I was nominated.
Okay.
The position of the national vice chairman of the PDP was zoned to Kano State.
Kano specifically?
Kano specifically. It was zoned to Kano. And at that time, Engineer Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso was leader of the PDP in Kano. And to my own biggest surprise, at the wee hours of the morning, because it was past midnight, I received a call from Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso notifying me that the leadership apparatus of the PDP in Kano have sat down and they have decided to field me as the candidate who should fly the flag of the national vice chairmanship and represent Kano State at the Northwest to lead the party. I was shocked, I was surprised.
Why the surprise?
Well, actually, sometimes when you are in politics, maybe you have your own focus and you have your own target and ambitions. But then suddenly, when something else comes up, you will be shocked. So that was exactly what happened. But I received it in good faith. And from there on, I felt the leadership challenge for the whole Northwest is about to lie on my own shoulders. And from that moment, consultations began. And it was already just 2 days to the election. We were supposed to be in Kaduna on a Saturday, and I was notified about this position on Wednesday. So immediately the next day, Thursday, I had to go to Kaduna for screening. And we were to hold the election on Saturday, but some elements who felt otherwise disrupted the proceedings.
Okay.
And the election did not hold. And from there on, up to this year, May, we have been having it back and forth. On 3 different occasions, the election was brought up but on all those occasions, something always disrupted that election. And it was because of this particular position that Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso decided to leave the PDP.
Yes, before we get to that, I think Aminu Wali was also there. The issue of the leadership of the party was between him and Kwankwaso. He also brought up his own candidate. At what point did they really, should I say they have the day, or what really happened, and who actually changed the calculation?
Okay, it was not Ambassador Wali that fielded the candidate. The other candidate who I ran the election against was distinguished Senator Bello Hayatu.
Yes.
Well, it was all about control.
But I think he was in the Wali's camp?
He's in the Wali's camp,
yeah.
But he was fielded by Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State. He was fielded by Tambuwal, the governor of Sokoto State. Because when the position was zoned to Kano, let me tell you exactly what happened.
Exactly, because the people have been waiting to hear.
Yeah, the Tambuwal camp felt threatened that he is running for the office of the president, and Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is equally running for the office of the president to fly the flag of the PDP. So if Kwankwaso have his way and had control of the leadership structure of the PDP at the Northwest, he can have an edge over Aminu Waziri Tambuwal. And then Mr. Tambuwal felt that the only way he can do is to put a spanner to the workings at that particular time. And he was the one that directed, because as the chairman of the Governors Forum, the PDP Governors Forum, at that time under Mr. Secondus, there was this agreement that only one form should be sold for all the positions.
All the positions?
All the positions.
And maybe this is where, anyway, we'll discuss this, but yeah. I think, is it democratic?
Well, we can, sometimes, let me tell you, if political parties want to reduce rancor, because these are just party positions, and the party is an opposition party that is trying to consolidate and take power. So sometimes some agreements can be reached, and then some consensus can happen. Within the state, if there is any position that has been fielded, the political party at that state level can hold an independent private election. They can hold just like a mock election and decide to fill any candidate at that stage, and then present only one person to the general fora. It is agreed. There are consensus. Consensus is agreed at all fora at elections. So the party wanted a consensus candidate for all the positions. So the decision was a form should be sold to each state, should be given for each position.
Most of the positions have been allocated to.
Yes, and most of the positions have been allocated.
Yes.
So it was Aminu Waziri Tambuwal that got the chairman of the party to allow him to have one extra form by his position as the PDP Governors Forum chair. That was how it all started, and then we had two forms.
Okay, two forms for the national
vice chairman
for the Northwest.
Chairs the Northwest. So that was exactly what happened. And at the end of the day, Kwankwaso felt he didn't like that.
Yeah. But what happened in Kaduna? Because I think you people converge on Kaduna.
Yeah, we converge. Before that, Kwankwaso left the party.
Yeah.
Before that, Kwankwaso left the party.
Yeah.
So when Kwankwaso left the party, because he felt he wasn't respected enough by the party, he decided to leave. But us, we decided to stay and continue the struggle. And then the election was held in Kaduna. And I will tell you that is one of the most interesting elections that I have witnessed, and it is an election that I'm so proud and happy that I participated in the election, because it was an election that I ran against the leaders of the PDP at the Northwest.
What gave you the courage to go for the election despite what happened when you saw the signals clear?
Yeah, everybody was viewing it from different angle. I was seeing it from another angle.
Okay.
It took us 1 year before the election held, and within that year I made a lot of friends across the Northwest. So I was confident that it was an election that I will go in, and I was so confident that it is an election that I can win. So when all the leaders of the Northwest, even despite Kwankwaso has left the party, felt that they should not give me an opportunity, because there was so many things happened. They called on me, even through my state chairman, and advised me that I need to step down. They can consider putting me in the BOT of the party or whatever, that I cannot even get up to 10 votes. But I
if you
told
go
them,
for the election.
if I go for the election.
Yeah.
But I told them I'm so confident it is an election that I can win. So I decided to stay and go for the election.
Did you got some votes?
Yes, I got some votes. But before I tell you how I got the votes, I will tell you that on that day, one of our presidential candidates from Northwest, Aminu Waziri Tambuwal, he was seated there. Makarfi, Namadi Sambo, Lamido, Shema, every leader,
the leadership of
all
PDP
of
in
them,
the Northwest.
They were there. And they all gave directives that I should not be the candidate to be voted.
They gave the delegates?
They gave the delegates directive that I should not be the person to be voted.
But why did they converge, or let me say coalesce into a force to gang up against you?
Well, the gang up started even during Konkoso.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Tambuwal was leading it because he wanted to run the election and he wanted to have a total control of the votes from Northwest. He wanted to go to the national election, to the national convention of the party with 100% votes from the Northwest. So the only way he can be able to do that is that he should edge and crush any opposition at the Northwest. So he mobilized the leaders to his side, being the governor, the only governor from the Northwest, and then we went for that election. And I'm confident to tell you that it was an election I ran against Tambuwal and Alhaji Lamido, because the two of them were the most vehemently gentlemen that were opposed to me emerging as the chairman. But the election held.
But I want to know, have they made some effort at their personal level to reach out to you not to go for the election?
Well, let me tell you, the only person I know is the former governor of Jigawa, Sule Lamido. He has told me to my face that he feels my own experience is not to lead a party. Maybe I should be doing something else. So for him, he feels I shouldn't even run for that election. But
what parameters did he deploy, and for how long have you been in the PDP?
Well, I've been in the PDP since 1999.
What?
Since 1998, I've been a member of the PDP. In fact, let me even tell you one thing. When the PDP was formed, they started from the G18, G34, and G whatever. And when they formed the party, at my local government level, at my ward level, the same ward, I share the same ward with Alhaji Abubakar Rimi, Dr. Kura Mohammed, and former speaker, first speaker, Ibrahim Salisu Buhari. I was the first protein secretary of the party at my ward level.
In Kano?
In Kano. So I am a grassroots PDP member who has started the party right from the inception of the party.
And at what point did you meet Konkoso?
Well, Konkoso became the governor in 1999 of the party, but when he became the governor of Kano State in 1999 under the PDP, I wasn't that close to him up to 2003.
Okay.
It was much later, I will say, that we got to know each other. Surprisingly, he used to come to my uncle's house to campaign, and when he comes there, we used to see him. I was just there that time. I was a party member, but we were not close because he was running for the governor. We were running the party at the ward level.
Yeah.
So there was a distance between us at that particular time. But then later on in life, we became quite close and we got to know each other.
Yes, because whenever people say Jamo, they say Konkoso. Because of the closeness.
Yes.
Now, between 2003 and thereafter, he moved to another party.
Yeah.
He was among those who defected at the height of the 2015 general elections, if I got it right.
Yes.
Were you with him at that time, and did you move with him?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yes, I did. But let me tell you, even before that time, I had another opportunity in 2006, which I would have moved, but I decided not to move. In 2006, when Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, as the sitting vice president, decided to run for the office of the president in 2006, he unleashed a 77-man list of people who will run his election. I was part of those 77 persons that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar fielded. And Atiku Abubakar moved to the ACN, and I went to him. I remember vividly, I told him I'm a PDP person, and I don't think at that time I wanted to change party.
Wow.
And I decided to stay in the PDP, and I worked with Governor Donald Duke for his ambition at that time to emerge as the presidential flag bearer. At the end of the day, Alhaji Umaru Musa Yar'Adua became the candidate of the PDP.
Yeah.
So coming back to your question,
yes.
I got some votes.
Okay.
The election held, and on the day the election held, there was no propaganda that was not done. They said I was running for another position in the NNPP, which I said I am not running for any position in the NNPP. They even did posters of me. They came to the venue of the election and announced and said that I have announced my withdrawal, so it was going to be a single election. I remember it was Senator Yakubu Lado from Katsina State who called me to ask me if I have withdrawn. I told him, no, I did not withdraw. Then he said, you have to run to the venue. And I came to the venue. I wanted even to have the microphone to address the delegates and say, I'm even still in the election. They refused to even give me the microphone to address the delegates, the committee that were running the election. But at the end of the day, the election was held. Tambuwal and Sulalamido, because I believe I ran against them, got 406 votes, and only me, I got 313 votes.
They got how many?
They got 406 votes.
And then you got?
I got 313 votes.
Meaning the margin is...
The margin was small, and I'm telling you, when six states voted before Kaduna, because Kaduna was the last to vote, I already had my 313 votes, and I was leading. I know what they did in Kaduna, and even when Jigawa and Sokoto voted, we knew there were people that were not even delegates that even voted for that election. People
have been asking why, because your promoter is Konkoso.
Yes.
And he left the party when he realized that the odds against him were many. Why is it that you didn't follow him?
Okay, at that time when Engineer Rabi Musa Konkoso wanted to leave the party, I was not part of the people that really wanted a change of party.
Why?
I just felt it was better at that time to remain within the PDP, because I felt whatever it is, we can achieve it. And I was using the yardstick of what I was seeing on the ground, because I became the center of attraction of the crisis and the reason why he left. But what they are seeing is not what I was seeing. I was seeing votes. I was seeing that I even have the opportunity to win that election.
Wow.
When everybody was saying the election shall not be held or whatever, I said, let the election held. If they will hold that election, I will win the election. I wasn't scared of Tambuwal. I know I can win that election. But he was leaving. But even before he did, I made several efforts to make sure that he remained within the party. I went to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I met Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and I told him, Your Excellency, I feel it is going to be very good for you if you do everything humanly possible to keep Konkoso in this party. I said, because the opportunity of who will emerge to be the presidential candidate is going to be either you or Konkoso.
Okay.
And whoever emerge, it is going to be your advantage. If you emerge, it will be better to have a Konkoso in the party, because he will be beneficial to you than for us to have Konkoso living. Which he said he will look into that matter. And then apart from that, I went to Senator Ioche Ayu, the chairman of the party.
Yeah.
I met him. The day I met him, it was Ambassador Damagun, the national vice chairman of the party, that took me to him. So me, Ambassador Damagun, Ambassador Tawfiq Arapaja, who is the national deputy chairman of the South, and Umar Baturi, who is the national organizing secretary of the party. 4 of them, and then me. We were 5 in number. And I sat the chairman down. I said, Mr. Chairman, I came to you and I feel you should do everything humanly possible to make sure that Konkoso remains in this party and he does not leave the party. He said, okay, what do you advise me to do? I said, go to Konkoso's house, sit him down and hear what the problem is. And let me even make an offer. If I am the issue, because he fielded me to be the zonal chairman, and I'm the problem, some people feel maybe I shouldn't be the person. Let me tell you here, I am ready to step down. Even without Konkoso's prompting, I will announce to the world I have
for the
withdrawn
position.
For the
Since
position.
it was the bone of contention.
Yes, since it is the bone of contention, I said I will withdraw, even without him knowing. And then when I withdraw, just go back to Konkoso and give him the criteria of the kind of person that you want to fill that position. Make sure you allow Konkoso to fill that position. Let him not have an excuse to leave the party. He said, well, I can't go to Konkoso's house. He never called or came to my office to congratulate me. Other leaders were coming to congratulate him.
For becoming chairman.
For becoming the chairman. I said, chairman, you are not getting it right. I said, don't forget that Konkoso moved his delegates from Kano and himself and came to the Eagle Square to affirm you as the national chairman of the party. Did you pick up your phone
to call
Konkoso and thank him for that? So I say it's a two-way thing. If he does not call to congratulate you, did you equally call him to thank you? He was visibly not happy with that statement that I said. He was in a haste that time. I should hurry and finish what I'm doing. He said, okay, now what else? I can't go to his house. I say, okay, if you can't go to Konkoso's house, invite Konkoso to your office. I even used the word summon him. You are the national chairman. I said summon him. He will come.
Are you?
Yes. Mr. Yocha, I said summon Konkoso to your office. He will come. And then when he comes, you have been a Senate president when he was the deputy speaker. So take him out, only the two of you. If you close the door, if you like to shout on him or say whatever, just do it privately with him. And then when you finish, find an amicable way to resolve the issue. Once you resolve this issue, I am sure Konkoso will remain in this party. He will not leave. He said, okay, the next day they were going to attend a reception in honor of the national secretary of the party, Sam Dadi, in Owerri. When they come back, he will call Konkoso. Ambassador Magun told me that, okay, please, I should go back and tell Konkoso that if they call Konkoso, let him pick the call. I said, no problem. I left from there. I went straight to Mr. Konkoso. I said, Your Excellency, this is the discussion that I had with the national chairman, and they are going to call you. So please, if they call you, they said you should pick up the call. 2 weeks later, I remember I met His Excellency Konkoso in the mosque, Friday prayer, and he said, your people have not called me up to now.
Oh, he reminded you?
He reminded me. He said...
Meaning that he was expecting them to call?
He was expecting the call. He didn't have any platform to move to that time.
He was just... Maybe
he was there, he was not
fence.
happy, he was on the fence, he's not happy. At that moment, if the national chairman really made some effort, we will still have had Konkoso in this party. So I wanted him to remain in the party. So when he decided to leave, I felt I still want to remain and conclude that election, because all the people I have been moving around from Kebbi to Zamfara to Katsina State to Sokoto, discussing with them and canvassing for their votes, they have been assuring me that they want to vote for me. So I felt if I am to defect, the hopes that I have given those people
will be dashed.
So I said, since I have already gotten a lot of people in the Northwest that believed in me and believe that they want me to be their leader at the Northwest level, I won't dash their hopes. I will remain in the PDP and run for that election. And alias, I remained in the PDP, and they did not disappoint me. They came out in mass numbers and gave me 313 votes. And let me just finalize. When 6 states voted, I had 313. My opponent didn't have up to that number because I had 2 agents, he had 2 agents, and it was open secret election. You just write, you don't even
so
need
it was really free and fair also.
No, it was. You don't even need to fold the papers, you just give them. So my agents were seen. So when 6 states voted, we had the numbers at our situation room. We knew we had 313.
Wow.
But when Kaduna State came to vote, Kaduna State was locked up and so many things were introduced.
Who locked them?
Each other person that voted from Kaduna State did not go to vote until he shows the chairman of the party in Kaduna State what he wrote.
But why is it that you mentioned Makarifi, I don't know whether you mentioned Namadi, you mentioned Tambuwal, you mentioned Sulalamido.
Yeah.
Why were they against you?
Well,
why are they suspecting you?
Well, I don't know why they are against me. I cannot say, since I cannot go into their minds to know why they are against me. But one thing that I know for sure is that there was this decision that the votes for the Northwest must be consolidated because Tambol has reached out to them and Tambol wanted to have all those votes from Northwest. So the issue is, it was a testing ground to see if Tambol has control of the Northwest. And let me surprise you by telling you that that election in Kaduna State, my election, was the election that scared Aminu Waziri Tambol from the presidential election. From that day,
Scared him as how?
he realized that he could not even get the numbers he was thinking, because he couldn't even get the Northwest 100% for himself. So how can he get the national votes for himself?
But why were they, these people you mentioned and I also mentioned again, why were they not favorably disposed to Konkoso? Is it that the saying that he's, sorry to say it, that he's a cantankerous person, he doesn't listen and all that? Is it true?
Well, I don't know the relationship between Konkoso and these people. Most of the times they have their meetings between him and them. I'm not at the venue of the meeting to see how they relate. But all I can tell you is that Alhaji Makarifi is a very close friend of Konkoso. And I know that if that election, or the day it was held, if Konkoso was still in the party, Makarifi would have supported Konkoso.
Okay.
Because even when the crisis was going on, Makarifi and the former National Security Advisor from Sokoto, they made a lot of effort to try and see that they make sure that Konkoso's candidate will emerge as the candidate. Because at some particular time, I remember the chairman of the caucus of the Northwest, Kabiru Tanimu Turaki, senior advocate of Nigeria, once I was with him in his office and he told me that the leaders have decided that Konkoso must have his way. And I knew it was an effort by Alhaji Makarifi to make sure that his friend, he saves the face and he does not allow some people who feel that they should do all they can at that time to shame Konkoso during the zonal congress. He saves his friend from that shame. So I know Makarifi is doing that effort and I must give him the kudos and credit. But when Konkoso left, how he decided not to support me, I don't know. But I am proud and I'm so happy with those 313 votes that I got at the
You still showcase them. But who is the biggest loser after the election?
Yeah. Well, I think if I can say the biggest loser, I can say it is an election to me that I will see no victor, no vanquish.
Okay.
That is what I can say. It is an election which no victor, no vanquish. The only area where some of the leaders from the Northwest didn't get it right, instead of them to say, okay, today we have another new leader that has emerged, who against all odds has come into our states and taken our delegates with no single kobo. Just
you mean they were compromised? The delegates is out of love they voted for you.
Which, if it is talking about compromise, Tambol is a governor, is a sitting governor. Sule Lamido is a former governor. They have everything at their disposal. They can outmatch me. Even to do anything, they can outmatch me with funds or whatever. It was just a relationship that we were having.
Well, thank you very much. There is a big allegation against you, which I will ask you.
Okay.
But maybe we'll take a short break. When we return, the program continues. Please don't go away.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, racism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our various social platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We have in the studio Mohamed Jamu, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party from the Northwest. Before we went to the break, you said all was well, even though you were defeated at the election. How is your relationship with Konkoso now?
Well, my relationship with Konkoso is cordial. Even though we do not belong to the same political party, it's a cordial relationship because he is somebody who saw in me what others did not see, who believed in me that there is a leadership quality which he believed existed, who stood and fought very hard to see me emerge as a leader in the People's Democratic Party.
And you think, assuming you emerge, he will remain in the party?
I will do everything humanly possible to keep him in the party.
This brings me to this question that I said I will ask you.
Okay.
There are allegations that he asked you to remain in the PDP and others in order to spoil the chances of the party, to do anti-party ahead of the 2023 elections. How true is this allegation?
Well, His Excellency Engineer B. Musa Konkoso started politics with his 32 states. I started politics with my own 32 states. It was just our path that crossed. He started because of what he believed. I started my own politics because of my own beliefs. Like I said, it is just a path that crossed. I know what is right and I know what is wrong for me. I'm a strong Muslim that believes that wherever I am, I should be just, I should be fair in all my actions in life. Nobody can ask me to remain somewhere to do his bidding, especially a bidding.
Because you have a lot at stake too.
That will bring him down. That will bring a party down. I have a lot at stake. I have my own future. I believe in so many challenges which Nigeria is facing now. And I have a strong belief that under the PDP, we have all that it takes to be able to get it right. So it is so. If we are to believe all these kind of allegations, then I feel there are so many people that we should not believe in whatever they are doing. There are people that have grown under other people's tutelage, which today we can still say all of those people we are having to ask questions over them. whatever they do. Atiku Abubakar became the vice president of Nigeria under the tutelage of Obasanjo. We can as well say Atiku Abubakar is just a puppet for Obasanjo doing Obasanjo's bidding. Aminu Waziri Tambuwal is somebody who under Senator Abdullah, from the aid of Senator Abdullah, rose to become a member of the House of Representatives. We can say he is doing the same thing. He is a puppet for him doing things. We are individuals and we have our own beliefs. I respect Engineer Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. I have cordial relationship with him, but he is a member of the NNPP. I'm a member of the PDP, and I am campaigning for the PDP. And let me say it to the world now.
Yes.
The PDP is my party, a party I believe in, and a party I'm supporting. Just we have some challenges within the party that we want the party to set right. And if they set those things right, we will come all out and work for this party.
Party chieftains are expected to take something big to the table from their constituency.
Yeah.
I'm now referring to Kanu.
Yeah.
You are from Kanu. And the story out there is that Kwankwaso has taken large chunk of PDP followership to NNPP.
Yeah.
So how are you going to campaign in Kanu?
Well, that is something that we have been complaining and we have been talking about. Let me tell you, you see, the defection of Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is one of the deficiency in leadership of Mr. Iyochi Ayu,
the national chairman.
The national chairman of the party.
He will have abated it.
Because the national chairman of the PDP, under his watch, we lost Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. We lost Mr. Peter Obi. And today, we are having a challenge of mistrust between Governor Wike and the national chairman of the party. So these are issues. We have issues of leadership within the party, which needs to be corrected.
Yes, before we get to that,
Yeah.
now in Kanu, are you in touch with the leadership of the party in Kanu, or you still have some onion to sort out with?
Well, the leadership structure of the PDP in Kanu is in court and in contention. We're at the Supreme Court. So up until the Supreme Court rules, Kanu is just a barren ground. The party has done a caretaker to hold forth the party till that issue is being sorted out.
And you think the caretaker will likely take you to the promised land? Because you have to contend with APC, NNPP. You have also, I think, other parties.
Yeah.
The one which Sharada is also aspiring, I think ADP,
Yeah,
and all others.
Yeah.
Are you really campaigning, or you are trying to sort out?
We have issues. We have several issues in the court because we held elections in Kano, and the election that we held, which the INEC was visibly present there, Mohamed Abacha emerged as the gubernatorial candidate for the PDP in Kano. But today at the national level, the national party decided to send a different name that is alien to us. We never knew where they held their own elections because it was only one election that was held, which the INEC, because by the constitution of the Nigerian constitution and even the party constitution, it is clearly stated that all activities of political parties must be monitored by the Independent National Electoral Commission. And our election, the primary election, was monitored by INEC for our candidates for the State Assembly, for the National Assembly, and for the gubernatorial position. So we are in court and in contentions for all these positions. Up until when the courts have made pronouncements, we cannot say anything at this juncture.
But does it give you sleepless nights? Because we are discussing regional problems of the APC. I will take you to the south, for instance. Yeah. In Edo State, just yesterday, the party, the deputy chairman of the party in the state, against the will of the chairman and Governor Obaseki, they disown the campaign council list in the state. You are having problem northwest here and there, south. Why are we having these problems?
Well, our problems are similar. What is happening in Edo and what is happening in Kano are virtually almost the same kind of problems. The party that has worked so hard at the state and that has the respect and command of the people of the state is not being recognized by the leadership of the party at
they
the
are
national
supplanting
level.
other.
Yes, so the national level of the party conniving with some individuals that are not supposed to be the rightful persons the party should connive with to give credence to whatever they do. So the same thing that is happening in Edo is the same thing that is happening in Kano. And if we don't manage it very well, we might end up losing those two states.
What is the motivation? Why is the party behaving this way? Is it the chairman? He has certain problems that you people are not comfortable with.
Well, I don't know what the chairman is up to, but there is this dislike for particular group, unlike for the other group.
Instead of being neutral.
Instead of being neutral.
Figure, yeah.
Let me tell you what happened after the zonal congress, I went to the national headquarters of the party, and still Ambassador Damagun, his deputy, took me to the national chairman. He was seated at the NEC conference table with other party leaders. And then Ambassador Damagun said, see the man. He was laughing and introducing me. See the man that almost shamed our leaders in the Northwest. So he greeted me shabbily, and then I told him, well, Mr. Chairman, the zonal congress is done and it is over. Somebody has emerged. I will remain and continue working with this party.
You told him?
I told him I will remain and continue working for the party. He told me, how does that concern me? That was his response to me. Are you? He responded to me and said, how does that concern me? I looked at Damagun and said, did you hear how this man spoke to me now? I looked at Umar Bature, the organizing secretary, and said, did you hear? Because they were all hearing when he said that to me. He said, how does that concern me? So this is a man who has shown he likes this group and he does not like that group, to the extent that as a father figure of the party will meet a member of the party who against all odds can pull 313 votes and tell him, how does that concern me? Maybe he has not run election. If his own position, others like Shema, like Makarfi and others who showed interest have been allowed to run the election at that particular time, and he tests what it means to go out and campaign, he will have had more respect for party members than what he had for me on that day. He looked at me and said, how does that concern me?
And since then, have you met with him?
Since then, I have been working for the party, but at my own local level, because I don't have to meet every day with the national chairman to be working for the party. I don't even need to.
You are said to be very close and have aligned with the Wike camp. Yeah. Why did you choose to align with Wike?
Yeah, because we share a lot of things in common with them. And those things that we share in common with them is this agitation and cry that there is something fundamentally wrong with how the party is being run at the national level. And then things have to be done to be changed. Because one thing that we all agree is that if under the watch of a chairman, we can be losing such potential leaders of the party who today have now become the biggest threat to the party, then there is a problem with the leadership of the party. And if you notice, even he, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, after he emerged, he was the only one you can see visibly moving around the world trying to pacify party members, which that is not even supposed to be his responsibility.
Whose responsibility should it be?
The chairman of the party and members of the National Working Committee. It was supposed to be their own responsibility to move around and talk to party members and pacify them, and then arrange a meeting with the presidential candidate and ask the presidential candidate, these people have worked for the party, you need to, if you emerge, do this so for them. But this national chairman was the man that went to Aminu Waziri's house on the day of the convention and refer him as the hero of the convention.
The chairman?
The chairman of the party, showing his bias again against other contestants. So if a national chairman can openly be showing bias against others the way he is doing it.
But beyond the fairness you people are talking about, some are saying it is simply because Wike did not get the ticket that he is championing, using the resources available to him to now give Atiku problem, to give IU problem. How true is this?
Let me tell you, it is not Wike. Wike is just the most vocal person amongst us.
Okay.
He's just the most vocal. Maybe because Wike talks, he talks here, he talks there. That is just it, because he talks. But I'm telling you, this is a position that we all share. Anytime we have a meeting with Governor Wike and others, he even talks less.
Because some of you voice out your grievances.
He only listens to what majority of members of the group talk about, and then maybe he echoes what everybody is saying. So it is not about Wike. It is not about when Wike lost his election, we all sat down. Wike has already agreed. He said this is his first outing. If he could get up to this number of votes in his first outing, then it is good for him. He will wait. After 4 years, he can try it again. He is relaxed. He is gone. They were the one that went to look for his own trouble. And then how can you take it when you have a national chairman and then that national chairman is moving to go and call others heroes
to celebrate
of the
others?
convention?
Some people are saying you are setting the cart before the horse, because one of your demands is that IU should step down because Atiku is the candidate. Yeah. Why not wait until after the election?
Why should you wait till after the election? Because before that happens, let me tell you this, and I want you to view it and let my viewers view it from this perspective. Today, President Muhammadu Buhari, although he is from the APC, is the president of Nigeria, and he has served 8 years, or about to conclude his 8 years period. He's from the northern part of the country where I come from. So everybody knows that the North has enjoyed 8 years of power. And the Southerners have been working hard to try to see how the power can go back to them. Wike and others, Anyim, Pius Anyim, and Ohambua, and a lot of them ran for the ticket of this party. They didn't get the ticket. So when they didn't get the ticket, there was this issue. The chairman of the party is from the North. The presidential candidate is from the North. The chairman of the PDP Governors Forum is from the North. The leader of the Senate Minority Caucus in the Senate is from the North. So everything is North. So the people in the South, there were these echoes. What is happening? The APC has done a Muslim ticket. Now the PDP is doing everything North. And if you know, fundamentally, PDP has had one of its bases being the southeast part of the country and the south-south. The PDP has always won those zones.
Yeah.
So a lot of the votes that we have for this party and a lot of our party members and followers are from that part of the country. So a lot of them were echoing what is happening. Carry us along.
From the South.
From the South. And then we felt the only thing that can be done, that can be justifiable, since it is the tradition of the party, when the presidential candidate is from this part of the country, then the party chairman should come from the other side of the country. So for justice, equity, and fairness, so that these people from these party members from the southern part of the country can be able to have something to say to their people, that all these things that you're hearing, it's not true. PDP is not becoming a regional party. It is still the national party that it is. So then they are saying, okay, at least let us have the national chairman of the party. That can give them that sense of belonging. It is something that is as simple as that. And it is even something that I even expected Mr. Eocha Ayu, because he has said it by himself that once a northern candidate emerge, he is ready to concede that position. So he could have just on his own say, well, for the love of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, let me go, so that we can win election.
But some are saying that you people are now trying to throw away the baby with the bathwater, because if Ayu did not go, Ayu did not support Atiku, APC will end up losing the election. Are you thinking of PDP will lose election? Are you thinking of shifting grounds ahead of the election?
Well, the election, there is still a long time to go, and so much is happening. And I'm telling you, as I'm talking to you now, they have been saying 5 governors. There is even a silent sixth governor now. There is a silent sixth
Against
governor.
Ayu.
So we're talking about 11 governors, and before it was 5 governors. But I'm telling you, there is a silent sixth governor now. So the numbers are swelling. So we will see. We will continue going.
And you think you will have your way?
At the end of the day, it is for the party to decide. You want to lose the election,
you want to win,
or you want to lose the election just because of one position, that of party chairman. And then don't forget, the same PDP, our party, under President Goodluck Jonathan, with the apparatus of the state and everything, it started a movement of 7 governors. 2 of the governors chickened out. 5 of the governors remained. 5 governors made the PDP to lose election. A sitting government. And now we are having 5 governors. When we are battling to gain power, we're having 5 governors. Do we want history to repeat itself? It's for the party to ponder over this.
Anyway, time will tell. Thank you very much, Mohamed Jammeh, chieftain of the People's Democratic Party from the Northwest, for your informed perspective on the crisis in the party, especially in the regions and at the national level. We hope to have you again.
Thank you so much.
This is where we come to the end of the program today, hoping you enjoyed it and you will be with us tomorrow for another interesting edition. For now, thank you very much. I'm Hamza Idris.